I've had a bunch of successful students in my career as a coach, but none anywhere near as successful as Bo. Bo started copywriting in July of 2023, signed her first client 2 months later, and now in March makes $65,000 a month as a freelancer. And we're going to break down exactly how she got there and how you can do the same thing. Check this out.
All right, Bo. I've been trying to do this fucking interview with you for probably 6 months now.
Yeah. Yeah, solid six.
Okay, so just to set the tone for who you are, you were making like 10 or 12 grand a month, I think, in like October-ish of last year, which is about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I said, Bo, like you're killing it. Let's do an interview. And you were like deeply ashamed of how little money you were making. You were like, yo, let's just like put this off until I'm at least like 20, where like I can like respect myself.
Yeah. I think it's just because like my original path is like to go to med school and like I have like 3 degrees, like a bachelor's and then 2 masters and my plan was like to go to med school and like obviously doctors make a lot of money. It's like so that's always been my plan. And like to me like 10 grand a month is like not it's not that much money when you think about it. Especially
So
after taxes, like that's not that much money.
what are you at now?
Base last month was I think it was 45 or 47, and that's like without any of my rev share deals. So
With rev share, like conservative estimate, like what would you be at?
minimum probably somewhere between 60 and 70.
Do you
Just
consider
myself.
do you consider that a lot of money?
Um, yeah, I do.
Okay, that's what
Like
I
yeah,
thought. That's what I was
yeah.
expecting to hear. All right, so give me a brief intro of like who you are, what you do, like your story, your background.
Yeah. So background, went to college. I played basketball at Duke last year, finished up my master's this December, graduated. Um, Again, my plan was to go to med school. That's like always been my plan since like high school. I've never taken like a business or like marketing class in my life. I think the closest course I took to that in college was probably like a communication class. Um, Maybe like took like an English class or something like that. But that's about it. Was always very like bio, math, science heavy in all my courses and like psychology and stuff. But actually one of like my coaches said I had like a pretty creative mind. Our creative director on the team last year. So I was working with her, like just like making TikToks and like strategizing almost. And so she kind of like got me into marketing a little bit before you. Um, but then like I came across you and went to your free class, bought your little course. Was solid. I was in school obviously, and I was in season at the time, and so I was just kind of not really putting forth all my effort. And I was like still focused, very focused on like going to med school. I just thought it'd be like fun little, make an extra like 3 grand in college. Like that's sick. Like that's a lot of money in college. Um, and then I think like in towards the end of the summer when because I had a bunch of internships and stuff that I was doing, I was just like really busy still. Towards the end of like the summer, maybe like August, I was really started like crank out some cold emails, DMs, and finally like sign some clients.
Right. So you started, I don't know when you got original copy MBA, but you joined Inner Circle end of April, right?
I think we had a call end of April, but I don't think I actually joined until the summer.
Okay, well, I remember you joined, but you weren't like really doing anything.
Yeah, maybe that was yeah.
Started getting active, like, what do you think, like July, August?
Yeah, I would say July, August, yeah.
So that was when you started.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were obviously at zero, right? You weren't making any money with
No,
copyright before that.
no.
Okay. So you went from zero to probably 60 grand a month ish. Like, bro, just your base is 45K a month. Like how did that happen so fast? Like, what was the journey of like starting from zero and then just like skyrocketing to like where you're at now?
Yeah, I think it's like honestly weird like being in like inner circle. It's like you're seeing so many wins daily. It's almost like hard to not get discouraged when you don't see results like quickly. And like I honestly was like pretty slow. Like I it took me like I think 2 or 3 months of effort to like finally get my first client. And then that same week I got a second client. And then I was like, okay, like this is kind of cool. Like this is sick. And then like the work was like easy. Like I was kind of chilling. But in the meantime, like when I wasn't getting any clients or working with anybody, I think I was just like I was harassing Ben to like let me like learn what he does. And so like obviously like my main skill was copywriting. And then I was just like learning more about like a sales funnel, what that was. how to build them, why that helps, stuff like that. And so I just guess building supplementary skills around copywriting helped me leverage my value a lot more. So that's how I'm able to get like rev share deals and whatnot.
Right. So you started like what do you remember what your first client was? Like what the
Yeah,
deal
I
was?
do.
What was it?
It's like a tennis shop.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I remember that you were grinding for that one. Like you were
yeah,
really working hard to get them.
yeah. Like I ended up like we had some sort of miscommunication where I said it was just the copy like in the deliverables and in like the scope, and then I ended up doing like all the design and everything. So I guess I learned like design too on accident.
What did you get paid for that?
I think like 2,500.
Still not bad for a first client. Like that's pretty solid.
Yeah, yeah.
What was like your first like big client where you were like, yo, like now I'm making money?
Probably the first time I closed a webinar deal, because I ended up getting, I think it was like 6 or 7 grand up front, like one-time setup fee, and then because that was like fairly low for a webinar setup, I got 20% rev share, and like the rev was decent. Like I ended up getting almost like 10 grand a month from him, like on rev. So that was like that ended up being like 17 grand just from him in 1 month. So that was
Damn.
solid.
Is
Yeah.
that your biggest client, the one that's paid you the most in a month?
No, I don't think so. Not now.
What was the biggest one now?
I think I have someone that is going to be paying me like 24.
Holy shit, bro.
Yeah, 22 or 24. I'll have to double check on that.
Hold up, before you keep watching, I have to tell you about something that will help you if you're trying to get like Bo. So I have a coaching program called the Inner Circle where you hop in and we train you one-on-one to be a copywriter. We save 5 to 10K a month, but now because of Bo, you know that you can potentially get to 50, 60 plus K a month. So if you want to be coached by me and Bo, because she's a coach inside the Inner Circle, click the link in the description and I will see you on the other side.
Do you feel like you're working a lot now? Like, do you feel like this is one of those things where it's like you're kind of in the trenches?
Yes. Like I'm like honestly working. I'm probably working 12, 14 hours a day for sure. And then just like also like I feel like I'm at the point where I still can't say no to anyone. And so like the other day I had someone come inbound, and they DM me and we hopped on a call, closed them on the call for like 10 grand. And then like obviously like working with Cam and he has people that like need things, so I like do it like immediately for them, and I just like don't say no. So yeah, so I do work a lot.
Okay. And so like listen, like you're kind of like a superstar. Like you have been successful in pretty much everything you've done, like since you probably were born. Like you like are a good student, which like I didn't have that. You know what I mean? I was never like a great student.
Yeah.
You like you have 3 degrees, like one bachelor, 2 masters. You were like a college basketball player at Duke, which is pretty good considering you're like 5'4".
I'm taller than you, Mace.
We're
So
the
you're
same
just
height.
like 5'3".
But anyway, all I'm saying is like you obviously have like the traits of like a person who can kind of just be successful. Like, what do you think it is about you, like soft skills that sort of led you to like grow so fast? Like, because just remind us here. So I'm pretty sure it was like your first client was 2,500. You
Yeah.
started doing it for real in like July. And
Hmm.
then like, by October, November, you were at 10K. And then I
Yeah.
remember by January, you were at 20. And now
Yeah.
it's March and you're at like 60.
Yeah. It's
What
like
like what is it about you that makes you just rip like that?
I think I've honestly always been told like I like connect with people pretty well, and I think like my network is like pretty solid, and like just like with my first few like big clients, I've over delivered and continue to over deliver and like make them so much money that they tell their friends, and then like it's an inbound lead. Like I don't do any outbound really unless like I really want to work with somebody. And so it's been fun. Like I think just working with, I don't know, just like being like being genuine, I guess, like genuinely connecting with people, and then like having them like word of mouth just like goes further than anything else. And then obviously like working hard. I think like a lot of people in any online business model, they don't see results in like 2, 3 months and then they quit. Like right before they're almost like about to make it or like sign their first client, like they quit. And I think like that's something I've like seen a lot even because they even just like compare to other people. Like they're just like oh, they signed 4 clients in a week. Like, why can't I sign one? And then they give up.
Right.
I think like just like the perseverance, honestly. And honestly, like not being ashamed to like harass somebody. Like I know I was in your DM so much, like asking you like just so many questions that I like 80% of the time, like I probably knew the answer to, or like 90%. I just like wanted like the validation, like to like be sure I was like doing something right.
Yeah, and like there's a handful of people that do that, but like I'm never annoyed when anyone like over DMs me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's usually a bull signal where I'm like, all right, I know this person's gonna be ripping in no time. Like
Yeah.
my mom told me this. Like my mom, I remember because like she wanted me to be like a good student. And so like she would give me a lot of like student tips because like she was in school for a long ass time.
Yeah.
She said that the like you're not dumb for asking questions. Like the dumb people are the ones that aren't asking any questions.
Yeah.
Like smart people are the ones that are asking questions constantly. Like whether
Yeah.
it's like an environment like Inner Circle or it's like obviously like a classroom setting.
Right.
But what was it about Inner Circle that really helped you sort of like go from just being like a student to being
Yeah.
like well now like and now you're a coach. Like you went from like being a student in school to like being like a beginner copywriter and then you skyrocketed so fast and now you're a coach.
Yeah. Um, I think honestly, just like all the resources you have available, obviously like the course is like solid and like that helps you a lot, just like getting like a really strong foundation. But then honestly, access to like all the resources in Inner Circle, like all the coaches, their network, it's just like expedites your success so much faster because I remember one time I didn't know how to send over like a proposal or a scope. Like I like knew how to, but like I wanted to be sure and like have like make sure I did it right. And like you sent me an example and like it just like made it so much easier. So just like your resources and like obviously you have experience, and all the coaches do. Um, and so just being able to like, hey, you've been through this, like let me like what do I say to like this client or like what do I offer them or um I just like think like Griffin even has given me so much advice and templates for XYZ. Whether that's emails or like scripts or how to even just like deal with clients. Like, you know what I mean? Like not get taken advantage of or make sure they pay or like what to do if a client drop wants to drop you or says you're like charging too much and stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, like, there's no real other way to get that. Like, there's no like you can like courses are good, but
Yeah.
like having access to people who have like done it
Yeah.
already and have had a bunch of time in the game is
Yeah.
like you can really do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
Um, let's talk about your lifestyle because 60K a month is not nothing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's the upper echelon of like what people in America are making. Like
Yeah.
even a high paying job, like you're definitely out earning what you would have made as a doctor
Yeah.
even though you're working about the same amount of hours,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about how you can fix that after.
Yeah. I need to hire someone, I know.
I'll help you with that. But like what, like you went from 10K a month, I guess 6 months ago, to making 60.
Yeah.
Like, how much has changed? Like, do you spend money? Do you do anything?
Like I'm in North Carolina, like there's not that much to do. It's more just like I know I'm like not worrying about it. Like I think I've been saving a lot. I've been messing around in crypto this little bull run. It's been kind of fun. Um, I know like just like it's just like not something I worry about. Like I don't have time to cook in the day, so I DoorDash food or I Uber Eats or like I go out to eat like a lot of the time. It's like it's just like you don't worry about these things anymore. Like you get an Uber to go to the bars, like you call it, your friends don't, and you don't even like you don't need to ask them for money. Like I think like I've always been like a person to be like, oh, just get it next time or whatever. Like I like don't freaking Venmo me, like you're gonna help out your friends. And I think that's just like kind of been heightened a little bit. Like we'll go to dinner, it's like, okay, it's like fine, like I got it, like don't worry. I think being able to like do that for because I'm still around so many like college kids are broke, like they have no money. It's like that's been nice. Even just like sending my mom some money or like just being able to like take care of things for people. Like I really enjoy that. Um, and then yeah, I've been saving a lot, saving a decent amount anyways. Gonna probably get a new car soon. So that'll be a fun purchase.
You're thinking,
Some sort of Audi or maybe a Porsche. We'll see.
yeah, dude, get a fucking Porsche. That'd be so
Like a
sick.
like a Porsche Macan GTS would kind of be sick.
Yeah, or like a Panamera.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of dope. That's like a baller car, Bo. Like it's not like a dickhead like McLaren or something like that. It's
Yeah.
like so respectable. Like that's a grown
Yeah.
ass car.
I've always wanted like a blacked out Range Rover, but I think I gotta wait for that a little bit.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know, like I want to hit 100K a month so bad. Like, and I know it's just like a number and like nothing will likely change, but like being able to say like, oh yeah, I make like 100K a month versus 60
Yeah.
is
You
sick.
understand that you've been doing this for like 9 months and that shit takes time.
Yeah. Ben told me that the other day. He was like, Bo, this took me like 2 years to fucking get to 100K a month. And you've done it in like less than like almost less than a year.
Yeah. No, yeah, like Ben's been in the game for a long time. I've been in the game for a long time. It took me like 3 years to hit 100K a month.
Yeah.
Chill. All right.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Um, what have you learned about um copywriting and copywriters after being a coach? You've only been a coach for like I think 2 months now.
Yeah.
You've dealt with a lot of students. You're in the Slack all the time. Like,
Yeah.
what are you learning about like people who are kind of just coming in and just joining and not really know what to do, like new copywriters?
I think like the way like even like cold DMs or cold email, it's just like so generic. And like I know in the course you tell us like you like give us scripts to say, but then it's like I think people need to understand like they need to add their own like genuine self in there. Like people like look at how many people have bought your course and like are in inner circle. Like everybody's using that exact same script. Like nobody's gonna respond to that. And I think like thinking from someone that is now getting DMs about this stuff, I'm like me responding versus not responding, like I'm not gonna respond to just like some generic response like text. Like I feel like selfishly, it's like in most cases, you're gonna respond to something because one, it benefits you, or two, like they're complimenting you or something. And so like seeing like the other side of that, I think is helpful. And I feel like I try to tell all our students and whatnot, like be genuine and like don't pitch them like first freaking DM. Like I think like that turns a lot of people away, especially if it's like Instagram or Twitter. Um, and then what have I learned about copywriting? I think there's a lot of ways I guess you can like copyright. Like obviously like more direct response and salesy or like more like brand oriented. Kind of just like figuring out what best fits the person you're like your client essentially. And like how they want to be perceived even. Like I have clients that don't want to be like super salesy, but they sell a course, you know? And then you have some people that like they want to freaking like they want to say book a call after every like email, you know? But I think just like making sure our students know like just like ask us questions. Like you don't know what you don't know until you ask or
Yeah,
like listen. But yeah,
that totally
that's
makes
my
sense.
little statement.
What would you tell someone who's like on the fence about joining Inner Circle?
I think you're just like wasting time. Like I think if you want like especially because so many like I think like yes there are a bajillion businesses out there that like need this service, but there's also like a lot of people right now that are like in the DMs. Like I go through some of my clients' Instagrams and that we probably get over 100 DMs a day saying like I'm a professional copywriter. Let me write your emails. I'm like, no. Like it's just like stand out and I just think like even in inner circle like we literally give people leads. Like it does not come easier than that.
Yeah.
Like to get like your first client, like I know you've said this and like I 100% agree with it. Like getting your first client is the hardest part because you don't have any experience, you don't even know how to like navigate like the email service provider, you know what I mean? Like once
Mm.
you get your first client, you have a testimonial, you kind of confidence, you can probably close on a sales call. You have like more in your portfolio. Um And I think like the fact we give out leads and like we do a lot of work, you do a lot of work, you and Abby, I would say, do a lot of work trying to find leads. Like you guys are posting on Twitter, you guys are cold DMing people, and like that's like sick to be able to do that at a high level and then give it away to like your students, I think is sick.
Hell yeah, Bo.
Like we do the
Um,
hardest part for you.
yeah, I mean, well, we try. Like, it's not for everybody, obviously. Like, some people aren't going to get leads because they're just not doing the work, but people
Right.
who are doing the work, like, they get fucking
Yeah.
all over.
for sure.
What do you want to plug? Do you want to plug Twitter, Instagram? Like, where do you want people to find you?
They can follow Twitter, Instagram. It's probably what I'm most active on.
Bo.
Bo Schaefer, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there an 11 in there?
11 on Twitter. On Instagram, it's just at Bo Schaefer.
All right.
Shaffer.
We'll put it in the description. But Bo, you're fucking savage. I have no doubt you'll be at 100K a month before summer.
Yeah, that's my goal.
Let's get you a little junior copywriter, a little junior marketer, and you can scale to the moon.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be good.
All right, thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah, thanks, Mace.